Hello friends, welcome to the Planeswalker project. I appreciate you stopping by and I hope you'll stay for a spell. So with all this new hype of the upcoming commander decks, the new sets and the like, I've almost forgotten my favorite set of 2019, Throne of Eldraine. In a similar vein to Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, Eldraine draws from a high fantasy of Arthurian legend with some Grimm's fairy tale twists, both of which are amazing. And given that this is a set with new cards, we are of course going to take a look at the top commander cards from Throne of Eldraine. Leave a like if you enjoy what follows. So as a bit of a disclaimer right off the bat, I will be refraining from using any of the cards from the Eldraine Brawl precons, as we do have a handful of cards that are exclusive to those decks. Everything else is fair game. So starting off our list is Deafening Silence. This one-drop enchantment prevents players from casting multiple non-creature spells. This is your stacks piece from this set. Restricting players to just one non-creature spell per turn can be a tremendous break on their game plan. And at 1 mana, it's definitely something to look out for. Folio of Fancies is next, and is one of the group huggy cards. This 2-drop artifact gives players no maximum hand size, and for double X, each player draws X cards. And for 3 mana, each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in their hand. So this is a pretty interesting set of abilities, as it really wants you to be generous for a while, helping everyone draw tons of cards. But then they have to mill for however big their hands are. I think this would be really fun to include in Nekusar the Mindraiser. The only legendary creature on this list, Sir Conrad the Grim, is next, and he has a very potent ability. Whenever another creature dies, or a creature is put into a graveyard from somewhere other than the battlefield, or when a creature leaves your graveyard, he pings each opponent for 1 damage. You can also pay 2 to have each player mill 1. So I really like Sir Conrad. This is sort of a mono black mill aristocrat strategy card, burning opponents whenever a creature enters or leaves a graveyard, and having a 2 mana mill 1 can be brutal. 1 damage might not seem like a whole lot, but with up to 4 decks milling at once, creatures will find themselves among the milled, and that will rack up some damage. Revenge of Ravens is next, and is one of my favorite black cards from the set due to its Pillowfort-like nature. Whenever a creature attacks you or one of your planeswalkers, you sap 1 life from that creature's controller, so multiple creatures means multiple triggers, and so this can really deter your opponents from ganging up on you. Mirror Maid is 6th on our list and acts as a copy enchantment or copy artifact spell. I love this in my Bant enchantments deck, giving me an additional copy of whatever relevant enchantment I feel like being mean with. This is also, being an enchantment itself means it will trigger your enchantresses, and I think this is in general a very good value card. Wishclaw Talisman is in 5th and is very much a group hug demonic tutor, being passed around for a few turns and letting some players tutor for a card. I really like the idea of flickering this to recycle those counters, or to put it in a deck with Proliferate to keep those counters growing. A new hoser for aristocrats decks. Hushbringer negates any enter the battlefield and death trigger, being a great counter for blink decks and aristocrat decks. It's also technically a hate bear, just a little light in the power department. Clackbridge Troll is very much one of my favorite bombs in this set. Much like the Desecration Demon from Ravnica, this 5 mana 8/8 Trampley Hasty Boy gives a target opponent 3/0/1 goats. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, any opponent can sack a creature to tap the Clackbridge Troll, give you 3 life, and draw you a card. Otherwise, they're getting a big old trolley fist to the face, and this thing can take out a 5th of your total life in Commander. That's pretty strong. At number 2 is Fabro Elder, a more aggressive mana dork, but very similar to Bloom Tender. This Selesnya colored tree folk gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. It has Vigilance, and then you can tap it, and for each color among permanents you control, you add 1 mana of that color to your mana pool. This might be a nice budget alternative to Bloom Tender for decks like Derevi that really want to abuse tap and untap tricks. I have to give Oathsworn Knight an honorable mention here, as he is literally the Black Knight from Monty Python. And at number 1, Babel Passage is the latest in fetch lands. This one searches for a basic land and it puts it into play tapped, so in a way it's like a rare version of Terramorphic Expanse. But if you have 4 or more lands, you instead untap that land. So late game, this card becomes a lot more better on the value, and as a fetch land, I definitely think this is a good card for Commander. So that will wrap up our top 10 list today. Which cards from Eldraine do you think will be great in Commander? Let's discuss this below. Remember to like and share this with your friends. If you want to support us directly, we have a Patreon going that help improve the show. I appreciate you stopping by as always, and I hope to catch you all next time.